ATP Combat Media, what it do with your boy Claymore Rain? Shout out to my subscribers. And if this is your first time tapping into the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit your bell icons as well, so you all get alerts when this content is dropping. So Eddie Hearn and Devin Haney finally have at it, right? The two have been at each other, right? It's been pretty much universally known, common knowledge, that Eddie Hearn and Devin Haney haven't been seeing eye to eye pretty much ever since the Ryan Garcia fight. You can say, I would say not there. I would actually say at the Sandor Martin, when Devin Haney was trying to entertain getting that fight with Sandor Martin to defend his WBC title, and expecting Eddie Hearn to bid on a fight to help him get a fight to defend his title, and Eddie Hearn didn't bid on the fight. So at that point, if you ask me, it seems like there's been a little bit of they're not on the same page, to say the least, right? Eddie Hearn had an interview, and in an interview gave his opinions on what he thought about were the reasons behind a defeat by Ryan Garcia. He commented on the negotiation process, that certain things weren't set up in the negotiations that would have protected Devin Haney. He also he stated that, you know, Devin Haney's approach may not have been the right approach to winning the fight, and in front of a lot of people, it actually looked like he was kind of like taking the blame off of Ryan Garcia, which I think a lot of the boxing space likes to keep the focus on Ryan Garcia. And I understand that as well, because, I mean, Ryan Garcia did cheat. I mean, he had Ostarine in his system. This is a fact of what happened. But at the same exact time, wanting to make it clear that, yeah, although Ryan Garcia did what he did, there were a lot of things that Devin Haney mishandled, didn't approach in the right way for the fight, for him to be protected in the fight. You know what I mean? Things like putting a rehydration clause on Ryan Garcia, make sure he didn't come over a certain amount of weight the next day, forcing him to lose as much weight as possible, right? Maybe having things that would have protected him as far as financially. Things like that Eddie feels like if he was present in the situation and involved in the negotiations, probably wouldn't have gone by. But regardless, Devin Haney didn't like Eddie Hearn's approach to the interview he had with, by the way, Andre Ward and All the Smoke fight, something like that, right? And Devin Haney, of course, getting his opportunity as well recently to have an interview with Andre Ward, and, you know, kind of giving his side of everything, and just, you know, pretty much saying that some of the things Eddie was saying was correct, but some of the things he didn't necessarily agree with. But it looked like they were keeping it professional at this point, right? Although Devin Haney from time to time might have tweeted something that could be taken as a response to what was going on with Eddie Hearn, it seemed like they kept it professional. Well, needless to say, they got an opportunity to meet up with each other at Riyadh season in Wembley, and there was a little bit of a miscommunication between Devin Haney and Eddie Hearn, and it seems like Eddie Hearn was upset at a post that Devin Haney put up on Twitter, right? As you guys can see here, Eddie Hearn responding to Devin Haney saying, "Wow, I'm in London. Eddie Hearn won't give me tickets to the fight, but keep mentioning me every chance he gets. Eddie, the fakest ninja I've ever met, bro." And Eddie Hearn responding with, "You asked me at 6 a.m. this morning. First, I look after my fighters, ask someone else, and drop the arrogance," right? Drop the arrogance. So they meet up at they meet up in Riyadh season. Eddie sees him and confronts him. It looks like they have a conversation. Nobody has a recording of the conversation, but when asked what was said in the conversation, Eddie Hearn the next day said, "You are an arrogant fucking prick." I'm quoting Eddie. "I pulled him at the show and I said, 'What do you think you're doing?' I said, 'You couldn't be more arrogant. 2, you could have messaged me. You put a tweet out. You're a little kid. You used to be a good kid. Don't ever disrespect me again.'" That's Eddie Hearn pretty much communicating the gist of the conversation that happened between him and Devin Haney at the event. And I mean, where do we sit at it at this point, right? Devin Haney obviously going to paint Eddie Hearn to look like a two-faced person, somebody who, you know, when he had vested interest in his success, treated him one way versus when they have no more business relationship, how he's treating him now. And Devin Haney, I guess, feels some kind of way about it. You know, you treated me like we were friends at one point in time, but now that we can't do business together, you're giving me the cold shoulder. Where do I stand on it? Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, that's obviously personal business between two men, but being that this is social media and this is, you know, they're Eddie Hearn did communicate what happened on a public platform for everybody to hear. I'll give my 2 cents on it. And my 2 cents is, listen, man, business is business. I don't think Eddie Hearn has any obligation to do anything for Devin Haney, right? And what he can do, he might do, but what he can't do, he has no obligation to do. So does this change any image of Eddie Hearn, or is Eddie Hearn somehow being two-faced? No, I don't agree with that comment. I think that at the end of the day, Devin Haney is a multi-millionaire. Him getting tickets to go inside of a show, Eddie Hearn has no reason to have any concerns about Devin Haney getting into an event for free or whatever have you. We're not working together, number one. Number two, at this event, it's not my event, right? This is a Turkey Al Sheikh Riyadh season card, right? I have my fighter on the card, who, by the way, I need to be focused on, in Anthony Joshua, and other fighters as well that were on the card that he's in charge of managing and making sure that everything goes smooth for them. This is a big event, 96,000 plus people in the building. I'm not going to take the time to sit there and facilitate all types of perks and whatever have yous that you seem to feel like you are obligated to have, or you're entitled to have, because we have some sort of relationship. On top of that, Devin Haney communicating via Twitter to let the whole world know that Eddie Hearn didn't get you tickets and that he's being two-faced. Well, I think that's kind of weird, right? Because let's keep it 100 on this note right here, right? You've been communicating. Everybody knows that you and Eddie Hearn have been on the same page, right? When you see Devin Haney put a tweet out like that, it would be fair to say that before that experience that he had with Eddie Hearn, that he felt Eddie Hearn was probably two-faced. If you truly feel that Eddie Hearn is two-faced, then why are you calling him for favors? And why are you shocked at him not wanting to do you favors when you clearly are making it clear that you think he's two-faced, right? There is a sense of entitlement there. And sometimes people get out of their lane and they start talking crazy and representing themselves in a poor way. And I think this is one of those things that's happening for Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney needs to focus on his career, focus on boxing, get his things together, work inside of the parameters that he's been given, and don't burn bridges. Because it does look like at this point that you know, the only people who probably are open to do business with Devin Haney right now, make it a profitable business, is probably Bob Arum, right? Bob Arum and, you know, maybe Turkey Al Sheikh, obviously. You know, Turkey Al Sheikh's always going to be an option, but you're burning bridges for no reason. In a situation like this, you either communicate to Eddie Hearn privately as soon as you can, or you ignore him and you pay your own way to get inside of an event that you're in position to pay for yourself to get in. Maybe you speak to Turkey Al Sheikh when you get in the building. Maybe he can reimburse you. Maybe he can take care of you one way or the other. But I do think it's kind of petty to see Devin Haney go on Twitter to communicate this as an example of Eddie Hearn being some sort of backstabber. And I think Eddie Hearn is well within his right to defend his own interest, to be concerned with his own interest. And him saying to him that you're not one of my fighters, that first thing is a priority to me is to look after my fighters at an event where my fighters are fighting. I think that's just normal for him to say that. But, you know, it is what it is, right? Either way, it looks like both of them at the end of the situation, at the end of the communication, were able to shake hands and walk away with some sort of an understanding. If I had to guess, probably an understanding of we don't have to like each other, but we can be cordial and have respect for each other. Let's not repeat this again. Let's not have our situations be entertainment for everybody on X or Twitter, Twitter formerly known as X, or X formerly known as Twitter, whatever have you, right? That's my thoughts on it. Nothing too deep to get into that one. It's, you know, an issue between two men. What do we have to say about it at the end of the day, right? But leave it in the comments if you guys think something differently. If there's something I missed, if Eddie Hearn is the snake, is Devin Haney entitled to be treated a certain way? Is Devin Haney being a spoiled little brat? Let me know what you think. It's your boy Rain, and you know how we carry it. Same way we came in. At this point, we out.